All right, let's talk about something we've all felt. That quiet, nagging voice in the back of your head. The one that whispers, you're falling behind. You're not enough. And hey, look at them. They're living a better life. We're diving into the destructive trap of comparison.
This quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? We're about to unpack this whole thing through a story that shows exactly how we fall for this trick, mistaking someone else's highlight reel for our own raw, behind-the-scenes footage. So let's get into it.
So let's meet our main character, Ethan. He's 17, and if you asked him to describe himself, he'd probably just say he was kind of there, you know? Not the smartest, not the funniest, just quiet. In his own mind, he was totally invisible.
This is basically the world through Ethan's eyes. On one side, you have his reality. Quiet, skinny, a couple of shirts he rotates, a few close friends. And then on the other side, you've got the highlight reel he sees every single day. There's Liam, the guy who's effortlessly top of the class. Chris, with the perfect jawline and brand new sneakers. Mason, who's basically living that social media dream with followers and parties. And then, of course, there's Sophia, the girl he liked who seemed to be into guys, well, just like them. That gap, the one between his reality and their highlights, that's exactly where the comparison trap is set. And here's the thing, those comparisons didn't just stay in his head. Nope. They started to leak out and control what he did. He stopped putting his hand up in class, thinking, what's the point? Liam's gonna get it right anyway. He started ducking out on plans with his friends, isolating himself because he was just convinced he had nothing interesting to add. His thoughts were literally becoming his reality. And this is where it starts to get, well, pretty dangerous. We're now watching Ethan fall into that downward spiral that comparison creates. It's a silent fall, one that most people, even the person falling, don't notice until they've hit the bottom. So picture Ethan, hiding out in the corner of the cafeteria, hearing his classmates laughing about their weekend plans, their vacations, and this is the soundtrack playing in his mind. It's not just, I wish I had that anymore. It's way deeper. It's this sinking feeling that their success is somehow proof of his failure, that he's just a background character in the movie of his own life.
And then comes the breaking point. One night, he just walks out of his house. No plan, no destination, just this desperate need to run away from the noise inside his own head. He ends up walking for an hour and finds himself at this old, broken-down bus stop. And he catches his own reflection in a dirty, cracked mirror. And in that moment, it all just comes pouring out.
Just 4 words. I hate being me. This is the final destination of the comparison trap. It's not about wanting what they have anymore. It's this deep-in-your-bones belief that who you are is just fundamentally wrong. It's a complete and total rejection of yourself.
And that's the real damage, right? Comparison does more than just make you jealous. It chews away at your sense of self until you feel completely invisible. It convinces you that your life, your story, your experiences, they just don't matter because they don't look like the shiny versions you see everywhere else. But you know, sometimes it's at our absolute lowest point that something has to give. An unexpected encounter, right there at that bus stop, introduces a powerful new way of seeing things that starts to change everything for Ethan.
An old man waiting for a bus that probably isn't coming sees Ethan there. He points to that cracked, dirty mirror and says this. He basically asks, what if the image you have of yourself is so distorted, not because you're broken, but because the mirror you're looking into is?
And this is what we're calling the broken mirror effect. It's what happens when you only see yourself through these cracked mirrors. The mirror of Instagram feeds, the mirror of your friends' successes, the mirror of what society says you should be. These mirrors don't reflect who you really are. They reflect a warped, incomplete, and just deeply unfair version of you.
This single idea, it's the start of everything changing for Ethan. It's the beginning of his journey back to himself. He starts to get it. The goal isn't to be like them. The goal is to find and then actually walk his own path.
And he has this huge aha moment, a realization that the problem wasn't other people winning. The problem was that all of his energy, all of his focus, his time, his mental space was being spent measuring himself against them, leaving absolutely nothing left over to build a life of his own. So he does this exercise. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it is a total game changer. He gets a notebook and makes 2 columns. On one side, all the things he obsesses over and compares. Grades, looks, money, stuff he can't really control the outcome of. And on the other side, things he can control. His effort, his habits, his discipline, his consistency. With this one simple act, he takes the power back. He shifts his focus from their outcomes to his own process.
Okay, fast forward a few months. There's a school talent show. Now, the old Ethan, no way he would have signed up. But the new Ethan does. Not because he thinks he's going to win, but just to prove to himself that he could show up. He gets on stage, his voice is shaking a bit, he performs, and he doesn't win. Liam does. But this time, Ethan genuinely smiles. He got it. Someone else's spotlight doesn't make his own any dimmer. His victory was just being on that stage in the first place.
Ethan's entire journey really boils down to this one essential question. And now, I'm asking you, seriously, if you took away the audience, no social media likes, no parents' expectations, no pressure from your friends, if nobody was watching, who would you actually want to become?
So let's take Ethan's story and turn it into something we can actually use. Think of this as your toolkit, the practical steps you can take to start breaking free from the comparison trap starting today.
It really breaks down into 3 key steps. First up, shift your focus. Stop looking sideways at what everyone else is doing. The only person you should be measuring yourself against is who you were yesterday. That's it. That's your only benchmark. Step 2, redefine the game. You have to remember, social media is a performance. It's a highlight reel. Your job is to sit down and write your own definition of what a successful, happy life looks like to you. And step 3, turn envy into energy. This is a big one. The next time you see someone doing well and you feel that sting of jealousy, flip it. Get curious instead of bitter. Ask, that's cool, what can I learn from how they did that? Use it as fuel, not poison.
And as you go, just keep these few truths in your back pocket. Remember, everyone you look up to is fighting some hard battle you know nothing about. Also, success is not a cake. If someone else gets a huge slice, it doesn't mean there's less left for you. There's enough to go around. Be patient with yourself. Real, meaningful growth is a slow fire. It's not a microwave. And finally, when someone else shines, it doesn't make you dim.
And that's really what this all comes down to, isn't it? The whole point of this journey was never to win their race or live their life. The entire point of your life is to become the fullest, most interesting, most authentic version of yourself. Because the world doesn't need another copy of them. It needs the original you.